and welcome back to my kitchen. Now I thought I would bring you my recipe for easy peasy Welsh cakes. Now I know it might be slightly different to the traditional recipe, but they're my Welsh cakes and I love them. So here we go. Wash your hands, go and weigh out all your ingredients, and I'll meet you back here in 2 ticks. So, got my bowl here, got my ingredients, and first of all, we're going to be putting our self-raising flour and our baking powder into the bowl. We're going to give that a little mix. Then we're going to add our butter. Now, we are going to be using just our fingertips to turn this into a breadcrumb-like consistency. Okay, so don't squidge it all up with your hands because it'll start melting the butter and it's not the consistency that we want then. So we are just breaking that butter up with our fingertips to get some breadcrumb-like consistency. It's going to take a couple of minutes, but that is absolutely fine. Let's get these big chunks of butter turning into little chunks. There, can you see? It's a nice, lovely breadcrumby-like consistency. So to that now, we are going to be adding our sugar. Pop that in there, give it a little stir with our fingers. Then we've got our fruit. Now I know some people like for their Welsh cakes just currants. I've got mixed fruits here because I'm not a lover of currants, I must admit. So I've got raisins and sultanas in here. So in they go. And what we want to do is to make sure that each one is coated in this lovely breadcrumby light consistency so they don't stick together in a big clump. There we go. Going to make a well in the middle, got a little hole in the middle. We're going to pop our egg in there and our 2 tablespoons of milk. So they've gone into that little hole in the middle of our pot. Now let's just break up that egg with the milk. We could have done that in a bowl separately, but I thought we'd just do it in here. So I've broken that up and we're just going to gradually mix everything into that to turn it into a lovely soft dough. Now if you wanted to, you could add spices to this. I sometimes add a little bit of vanilla because I do love my vanilla. That's it, so let's just bring it all together to form a dough. There we go, let's squidge this off the spoon and we're going to go in with our hands just to get up all the little bits of flour that are stuck at the bottom. Just gently press it in to form this dough. There we go. Nice ball of dough. So we're going to pop a little bit of flour onto our work surface. Now my hands are a little bit mucky from all that dough, so I'm just going to go and wash those so I've got nice clean hands ready for when I roll out. So I've got a lightly floured board. Let's get my dough onto there. Move my bowl out the way so you can see. So I've got my lovely, lovely ball of dough. I'm just going to flour my rolling pin as well. Now we're going to just gently roll this out, give it a turn so it doesn't stick on the bottom. Just going to give it a little sprinkling because it's a little bit wet in the middle. And my rolling pin. And roll it out gently. Okay, now we're going to roll this out so that it is, I always say, the depth of a pound coin. I think that's just easy for me to say it like that. Now don't forget, these are going to puff up as we cook them because we've used self-raising flour and that baking powder, so we don't want them too thick, otherwise they're not going to cook in the middle. Now Let's have a look what we're doing now. I've got a cutter here. I've got one that's got twirly whirly cutting on the edge, or I've got a straight edge. It's entirely up to you which one you use. Give it a really good twist and pop it out. Now I've got a little bowl of flour here, and it's a good idea just to dip your cutter in there so that it doesn't stick when you are cutting them out. What I tend to do is cut them out and put them down the side of my board, and then I can transfer my board over to the griddle. There we go. Chop these out, give it another little dip. Now I'm using a griddle because I happen to have one. You haven't got to, you can use a frying pan. Make sure it's sort of a thick bottom frying pan, and you can have it on a medium heat. Now I've got a friend, Sarah, who likes her Welsh cakes what I call cremated, and I think that is the traditional way of having your Welsh cakes, where they are very well done. I like mine slightly anemic, but it is entirely up to you. You just cook them a little bit longer if you want the well done mix. Sarah and I always have a little bit of a joke when I'm making Welsh cakes or she's making Welsh cakes, and if I do get any that catch, I always sort of say that I've made them specially for her, and I actually did them on purpose like that, but I don't actually like them on that burnt side, but it's entirely up to you. I know when you buy Welsh cakes, they've got that sort of dark brown outside, haven't they? Again, entirely up to you. So I've got some more dough there. I'll roll that out in a minute, but let's go over to the griddle and get these cooking. Now I have rubbed just a little bit of butter on the bottom of my griddle, and I've just popped 6 Welsh cakes on. I don't want to overcrowd it because I don't find they cook very evenly if you overcrowd your griddle. Now these are going to cook for about 2 minutes on each side on a medium heat. Okay, so we'll just leave those now for a couple of minutes, and we'll come back when I'm about to flip them. Now can you see they've actually started puffing up, and I've turned one over, and that is how I like my Welsh cakes, on what I call the anemic side. I'm actually going to do one for Sarah so you can see what I mean about them catching, which I think is the traditional way. So I'm going to flip these over. Whee, look at that. Can you see?
Started off as a private soldier, finished up as a captain, all my life now.
And I'm going to leave that one over there, and we're going to turn it in a minute. But can you see the difference in colours? Okay, this is the one I like.
I'm going to get commission because
So these are ready now to go onto a tray that I have got lined with caster sugar, because I like to flip mine in caster sugar. Now can you see that one there? That's for you, Sarah. So there we have it. We have made our Welsh cakes. Now when I took them off the griddle, as you saw, I put them onto a tray that had got some caster sugar on the bottom. I then sprinkled the tops with caster sugar, popped them on my cooling rack to cool down completely, and here are the finished ones, my lovely, lovely Welsh cakes. Now I quite like them that colour, but my friend Sarah, I know she loves them this colour. So this one's for you, Sarah. But whatever way you make them, these are really, really delicious. So give them a go. Hope you enjoyed that recipe, and look out for some more coming up very, very soon. I'll see you again soon. Bye.